movies on that list was The Conjuring, and coincidentally, the first movie on this list will be Annabelle, a movie that takes place in the same universe as The Conjuring first spin-off film was released in 2014 and was directed by John Orlinotti, who claims to have experienced not one but two supernatural occurrences while on set. The first came when he claimed to have seen three fingers drawn to dust on set multiple times, which is disturbing because the demonic doll the movie is named after has three fingers. The second came when they shot their first scene with the demon actor in all his makeup. They were filming in an old apartment building near Koreatown, Los Angeles. When the demon actor went up the elevator and headed to where the other actors were, but as he was walking down a hallway again, a giant glass light fixture fell on an actor's head, who was playing a janitor to make matters even creepier in the script. That same hallway in where the demon kills the janitor and the creepy on-set occurrences of the Conjuring universe don't end there. Corin Hardy, who directed The Nun, says that during production he saw two men in a room. He saw filming in at the castle in Romania. He assumed they were just crew members. After completing the take, he turned to the men, but they were gone to make things freakier. They would have had to pass him to leave the room. The 1982 movie The Poltergeist is a movie that is rumored to have been cursed. It's believed that this curse started after Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper decided to use real skeletons during a scene where Jobert Williams' character falls into a swimming pool filled with skeletons, which, unbeknownst to the cast, the skeletons were actually real, since using real ones would be cheaper than buying fake ones at the time. The majority of the fuel for the alleged curse stems from the deaths of multiple cast members. In total, four cast members died during and soon after the filming of the series. Carolyn Fielding, the young protagonist of the trilogy, was played by Heather Ark, and she was only 6 years old when the first Poltergeist film was released. Sadly, she was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease in 1987, and the following year she got sick again and was misdiagnosed with simply having the flu. But one day later she collapsed and suffered a cardiac arrest. She died that day during an operation to correct the bowel obstruction. Dominique Dunne, who played the original older sister Dana Freeling, met an equally tragic and unforeseen fate in November of 1982. Dominic ex John Swaney, who she had recently cut ties with, showed up at her house, pleading for her to take him back. When she refused, he grabbed her neck and choked her until she was unconscious, leaving her to die in her driveway. Swaney was sentenced to a horrendously lenient 6.5 years in prison, but was released after only 3 years and 7 months. Julian Beck played the evil preacher Cain from Poltergeist 2. In 1983, Julian had been diagnosed with stomach cancer, which took his life soon after he finished work on the second installment of the series. The same film was met with further tragedy after Will Sampson, who played Taylor, the Native American shaman, died after undergoing a heart-lung transplant, which had a very slim survival rate. Poltergeist remains a movie with one of the highest amount of tragedies to hit its cast members. Heather O'Rourke was believed to have haunted the set of another movie, though the 1990 film Ghost, not as much a horror movie, just a movie about the afterlife, but some believe there may have been a real supernatural presence on set. The movie involved Paramount Studios Stage 19, where the sitcom Happy Days was filmed, a sitcom that Heather starred in 12 episodes for workers from the stage have experienced inexplicable power outages and have heard laughter late at night. Laughter reminiscent of Heather. One night shift security guard who worked stage 19 told about the paranormal activities that go on at the studio. The security guard claimed that almost every night he would hear running and laughing on the catwalk about the set, which is where Heather liked to play when she was on the set for Happy Days. The security guard also told that sometimes workers would see the little girl playing on the stage. When asked what they do when they see her, the security guard replied that they usually just tell her to leave and she runs off on the set of Ghost. was no different as multiple crew members have claimed to hear the young girl running around and the catwalks above the stage and laughing. The Exorcist is undeniably one of the most well known horror movies of all time, having become a household name but lesser known as the fact that it's also notorious for having a supposedly haunted set. One of the eeriest examples is that the set of the McNally house caught fire. The Exorcist was faced with multiple production delays, but the first was by far the set for Reagan's family home burned down in 1972 after a bird flew into the circuit box. The only part of the set that survived was the bedroom, where the exorcism would take place, with the chances of that being very slim. This set production of the movie back significantly and led to shooting taking over a year. After the incident, a real priest was called in to bless the set during filming. Ellen Burstyn, who played the mother Chris McNeil, suffered a spinal injury. While being hoisted around on a harness, she claims to have been screaming to turn the cameras off and to stop pulling her, which was all dismissed or ignored. She was left on crutches for the rest of the production. I had a rig around my midriff with a wire coming out the back, and the stuntman was pulling me too hard. I can get hurt. And Billy said, well, it has to look real. I said, I understand, but I'm telling you, I could get hurt. And the stuntman was standing there listening to this, and Billy said to him, okay, don't pull her so hard. But as I turned away, felt them exchange a look. You see me hit, and you see me reach from my back. I screamed in horrendous pain. Billy motioned to on to tilt the camera down on me. The moment she fractured her lower spine was actually the footage that's in the movie, and the screams you hear in the movie are not acting. Were there actual cries of pain, but the crew assumed she was only acting. The real curse of the movie would be the deaths linked to the movie. They included Jack McRoin, who played the film director Burke Dennings. Ahead of the film release, Jack tragically died from complications related to influenza. Vasiliki Molioris, who played Father Damien Carra's mother, also passed away that same year before The Exorcist was released, reportedly dying of natural causes. Both of their characters in the movie also died. During the production, a number of the cast and crew, including Linda Blair, who played Reagan, and Max Bonaccido, who played Father Marvin, also lost family members, and the son of Jason Miller, who played Father Karras, had a near fatal motorcycle accident during filming the 1968 film Rosemary Baby. Follows a failing actor who agrees to give up his wife warm to set and so he could have a taste of fame. It was an instant hit, but the satanic overtones of the film have led people to believe the film had been cursed, and the number of the cast and crew had suffered horrible fates because of it. To start, the composer for the soundtrack of the movie, Krzysztof Komeda, died in 1969 after falling off a rocky slope at a party. He had entered a coma for 4 months until passing away. This is very similar to the death of the character Hutch in Rosemary's Baby. But if anybody were to have been hit the hardest by the alleged curse, it would have to be the film's director Roman Polanski. Initially, he wanted to include his wife Sharon Tate in the film as Rosemary, but was overruled by the producer Robert Evans, who vowed to cast Mia Farrow. Sharon was instead cast as an unnamed background character in a single party scene. A year after the film was released, Sharon and some of her friends were staying in a rented house in Los Angeles when Tex Watson and some girls from the Manson family broke in. The Manson family was a gang or cult led by Charles Manson that was active in California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Tex Watson and the girl killed Sharon and all of her friends, inflicting more than 100 piercing wounds total among the four victims. Sharon Tate was 8 months pregnant when it happened. The alleged curse of the movie doesn't stop there, though. The Dakota is a famous building in New York which served as the exterior for the apartment in Rosemary Baby, but little did a lot of people know that it was the site of John Lennon's murder. The Decosta Gothic style was a perfect choice for the movie, as it's exactly what you'd expect the home of witches to look like. The producer Robert Evans claimed that the whole time he felt uncomfortable in and near the building while on set. After the film was released, one of the producers, William Castle, was hit with kidney stones, and he claimed that during surgery he began to hallucinate scenes from the film and even shouted, "Rosemary, for God's sake, drop that knife." He later admitted in his autobiography that he was overall very frightened of Rosemary Baby.